I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him.
Shoot, priest!
What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
I'll get you yet, even if it kills me, you hear me? You hear me, H.P. Lovecraft?
I had fallen off so many cliffs it was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine.
Rapaz, tô achando que aquele agente ali do FBI ali tá com um trem. Tá com o Satanás nos coros pra tentar matar os caras assim do nada, desarmado.
Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. "Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you?" Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation.
Cara, foi humilhado, mano. Tá, eu continuo sem arma só pra deixar registrado. E lá vem. Lá vem o... Viu aí a estratégia? Usar um sinalizador pra ligar. Olha, aí sim eu dei valor, hein? Finalmente uma pistolinha. Esse jogo não tem mapa, o cara fica mais perdido que o diabo aqui. Eu acho que ali é outra. Olha, um
There was
daquele.
no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Tá preocupado com as luzes da companhia elétrica, mano? Não faz sentido. É isso que você tá preocupado de todas as coisas. Calibre 12zinha da... Meu Deus, o cara tava sem munição. Erra o tiro mesmo, jumento. Acabou? Acabou, eu acho. Tá bom, o que tem aqui em cima? Nada. Tava com medo de morrer. Tem coisa pra lá. Vai aparecer mais, hein? Tem uma coisa brilhando pra lá, cara. Ah, é só um manuscrito.
The bulldozer's engine roared to life. Mud and rocks flew as it fought for traction. It crashed through the concrete wall and landed heavily in the yard. If it were an animal, it would have shaken its head after the impact, fixed its eyes on me, and charged. Of course, it had no head, nor eyes. Shadows crawled on its form, twisting it into a monster. Then, it came for me.
Que merda, hein, mano? Uma escavadeira não pode, cara. Aí... Aí é vacilo, hein? Um trator zumbi, mano. Rapaz, o cara que inventa um negócio desse é um psicopata, cara. Bora, cara, aparece logo.
Sarah trusted her gut, and her gut said Agent Nightingale was an asshole. He felt wrong, and it wasn't just the smell of stale booze. It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer her questions. Federal business was all he'd say.
Abuso de poder, hein? É, acabou não aparecendo. Eu achei que ia aparecer. Peguei munição de 12.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan, I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
Não era ela, cara. Era o capiroto dentro dela. Vai de vez em quando. E com as respirações.
The pipe wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
Ok, nós já estamos vendo o futuro. Eu creio que é pra cá, porque a seta tá apontando que tem sinalizadores pro outro lado. Vamos lá, na busca dos sinalizadores. Olha, cara, cheio de itens, cheio de... Olha, atingi até o limite. Muita munição de pistola. Ainda peguei calibre 12. Sinalizadores e granadas. Caramba, espantei. Cara dando drible do Ronaldinho. Cara aqui, ó. Olha o drible do Ronaldinho, cara. Foi o primeiro que eu vi fazendo isso.
I could see a railway bridge up ahead, and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
É uma boa, hein? Encontrar um carro. Opa. Rolou. Tá bom. Muito suspeito, mas vambora seguir, né? Vamos seguir. Ih, mano, isso aqui tá com a maior cara de que essa ponte vai cair. Pô. É só o trem. Diabo, vai espantar o Satanás.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Caramba, que foi isso? Veio de todos os lados. Vou usar a granada, cara. Espantei de novo.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Já... Cadê? Mano. Bagulho é esse? Minha lanterna não vale nada. Que diabo é que tu usou a droga desse sinalizador, cara?
I slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my face. It was all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me.
Filha da mãe, mano.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Irmão, aqui tá cheio de coisas possuíveis. Olha! Troca, troca, troca. Uma lanterna maior. Uma lanterna maior, cara. Finalmente, hein, joguinho? Pessoal, tem uma fase aqui. Você já imagina, né? Qual é o meu medo? Hoje tem uma fase. Mano, que diabo de respiração é essa no meu ouvido, hein? Eu lembro da fase, eu não lembro onde é, quando é. Eu só lembro que tem. Mais sinalizadores. Mais pílula. Tem várias coisas pra explodir aqui. Pelo menos acertou dessa vez, hein? Aparecer mais. Um do grandão. Feliz. Filha da mãe, mano. Eu tenho que lembrar de carregar a droga dessa arma. Ela é uma 12 de duas, cara. Só consegue 2 balas. Vou ver só se essa portinha aqui abre. Tem que lembrar do diabo dessa arma. Aqui tem pra gente assistir mais um episódio de Night Spring. Qual é? O que aconteceu?
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos of madness and horror. All too often, the stars are right. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, A Family Occasion. Journalist Alvin Derle's trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Derleth, we don't want to feel like we're on exhibition, but you have demonstrated the seriousness of your intent.
Oh, I am serious. Really, just do your thing. I'll stay out of your way and observe.
Actually, I thought you could assist us. I'm afraid we are a man short. It would provide you with an intimate perspective.
Could I really?
Of course, Mr. Derleth.
Well, I guess that's the least What would I have to do?
Oh, here. Let me show you with a kiss.
What did you...
Oh, Mr. Derleth, you have well pleased Nixie Perka, the dweller in flesh. Your body shall host his 1,000 young, and all shall be glory. Shh, darling, be calm. Shh.
Taca na atuação.
Alvin Derleth learned a harsh lesson. If you go looking for mythology, it may come looking for you. And such quests always bear fruit.
And Night Spring.
Night Springs.
Sacou a atuação dos atores e atrizes? Pô, eu tive que voltar ao ponto. O ponto aqui, ó. Ponto de controle, porque bugou alguma coisa e não queria mostrar o filme, ó. Ainda bem que o ponto de controle era aqui mesmo, não precisei voltar longe. Ia perder o filme, cara. Cara, eu tenho certeza que eu tô perto de um dos piores lugares que existe da história dos jogos de terror.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
Pois é, pra mim, uma das coisas mais assustadoras de todos os tempos, de todos os jogos que eu já joguei na minha vida. Desde que eu nasci. Deixa eu ver se tá tudo carregado. Ó o diabo, cara. Ó o Satanás, mano. Meu Deus do céu. Mano, o cara que faz um negócio desse, o cara é psicopata, hein, mano? Sério, mano, é o meu maior medo. É trator, cara. Não me pergunte por quê, mano. Trator é feio, é grande, é esquisito. O cara me faz um trator maligno das sombras possuído pelo Satanás, aí é demais, hein? Ai, ai, bora lá, né? Tá, eu vou tentar primeiro eliminar os cabas. Eu vou usar a granada. Meu Deus, meu Deus, meu Deus. Ui, meu Deus. Meu Deus, morre. Vou matar esse bem aqui rapidinho pra ele não me atrapalhar. Oh, ele tá do outro lado. Meu Deus, meu Deus, meu Deus. Caramba, mano. Sangue de Jesus tem poder. Tu é doido. Pera aí, pera aí. Granada mata, mais a 12. Bora lá. Meu irmão. Eita diabo, o cara morre no meio de tudo, hein? Você tá doido. Inferno. Tudo cheio. Tu quase me matou, mas o trabalho está feito. Você tá doido. Cara, eu já enfrentei, sei lá, mano. Mr. X, Nemesis, cabeça de pirâmide. Aquele do The Evil Within que tem uma cabeça de cofre. Nenhum vilão da história dos animes. Dos animes, ó. Dos gamers. Dá mais medo do que um trator do Satanás. Ok, pra onde é que eu vou? Nenhum, cara. Ah, outro que eu tinha... Outro que eu tinha medo... Medo mais que o inferno é aquele... A cara da peste do Resident Evil 4. Ele vai... Meu nome... É... Nosferatu, cara. Nosferatu é o vampiro. O nome daquele bicho lá, cara. É doido, quando eu escutava aquilo ali. Pensa no caboclo que ficava cagado de medo, chegado. Primeira vez que eu joguei Resident, pra vocês verem, quando eu ia jogar com ele. O que aconteceu?
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine. The coal mine wasn't far now. Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
Pois é, a primeira vez que eu joguei lá com aquele cara da peste, eu só chamei de cara da peste, aí eu nunca lembro o nome dele. Irmão, eu chego, passava era mal, eu ficava era com as pernas fracas quando eu ia jogar naquilo ali, lá em 2007, 8, 9, sei lá. Por aí, por aí. Hoje em dia, depois de velho, claro, o único que me dá medo é só um trator possuído pelo Satanás. Aí o restante é mais de boa.
Little by little, without realizing it, I'd come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The current of its narrative had taken me deeper and deeper into dark waters. Alice had been taken from me. Barry was probably in jail. I was a fugitive from the FBI. The whole world taken over by the dark presence was trying to destroy me. It all felt real, but it matched a textbook case of insanity.
Bora lá. GTAzinho agora. Amanhãzinha é tranquilo, hein? Tô olhando pra ver se eu vejo alguma coisa, né? Não posso nem sacar a arma, por exemplo. Agora lembrou, sabe o que? Alone in the Dark. Quando você pega carro e sai andando no mundo. Eu nunca cheguei a zerar o Alone in the Dark. Impressão minha. Eu tinha algo brilhando ali, acho que era impressão minha. Verdade, ó. Pensando bem aqui, eu não zerei Alone in the Dark, não. Eu comecei a jogar e não sei por que raios que eu parei. Bora ver o que tem aqui nessa cabana.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks,
I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big-shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, a little music.
Música, música, corre. Corre, 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 corre. Corre, música, música, música. Vá, mina de caravão. Picapezinha que é 4x4? Vixe Maria, é um clássico aí. Só que não. Nada, nada. Aqui não era onde nós estávamos? Não, é só parecido, porque não tem os negócios de observar, não é? Quero ouvir mais um rádiozinho aqui.
Welcome back to KBF FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Oh, see, to me that's strange, because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or heck, childish even? There's plenty of fish in the sea.
And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything, but what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh?
Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to what's essentially a chance encounter. How is that harsh?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here.
Okay.
Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together with what I feel, what I felt for someone, because she was the one. She was. And I let her drift away from me. Maybe I didn't put in the work, I don't know, but, well, since then, and it was a long time ago, but since then there hasn't been anyone, not like her. And I'm not saying I dwell on her or haven't moved on. I like my life. I'm not living in the past, but I do miss the way she completed me.
You can't argue with the heart, Pat.
I'm sorry, folks. I had kind of a scary experience last night, and let's just say it's shaken a few things loose.
Oh? Dessa vez sem música? Bom, não precisei sair correndo. Eu troco a minha caminhonetezinha por esse muscle car. Ixi, o carro tá... Que diabo é isso? carro tá levantado a parte da frente. E a parte de trás rebaixada. Deixa eu ver o que tem aqui dentro.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
What? E agora?
Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry, had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much.
Eu achei que ia ter alguma interação aqui, teve não. Só vamos embora. Tá fechado, será?
With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good.
Estamos quase chegando no sequestrador. É aqui?
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.